I don't know, it's just... He made Pandemic, and that's one of my favourite games of all time. And when he announced Legacy, I thought to myself that he's going to cater to my ego and prove that I am the undeniable hero of humanity across an epic campaign. But as the months went on, there was more panic, there were more outbreaks, there were more spoilers. And it just started to make me feel so small. And I don't think I can trust him or another game of his. Oh my goodness, he made that? Are you kidding? That's the cutest thing ever. And it just pops out and you just open it up and there's just tiny little buttons and there's tiny little spools of thread. Oh, okay, no. Okay, no. All is good. All's forgiven. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Although, Rob, if you're watching, get us a copy of Sequel and we'll all be good. Knit Wit is the cutest game ever. I mean, seriously, it makes penguins look like... Actually, I can't say anything bad about penguins, even though I have my limits. In Knit Wit, you and up to 7 other Knitter-Witters attempt to form contrived links between words that probably shouldn't go together in the first place, and you do this by littering tiny little dumbbells with bits of string. Actually, there's a bit more to it than that. Each player gets a bunch of numbered spools and colourful loops that they use for the first round in the game, the Knit Round. On their turn, a player places one of their loops around a spool on the table. They then draw a word and attach it to that loop and place one of their spools in an area that doesn't have a spool in it. This continues until all loops and spools have been placed and the entire table looks like a discombobulated dream of a rainbow. After this comes the answer round. Players analyse the words around each spool and attempt to write a word name or subject that matches the characteristics of those words. So, for spool 1, yellow, mean and soft, you may write angry emoji cushion. For spool 2, mean and happy, split personality person, happy and imaginary, oh, my audience. After a player completes all their answers, or simply gives up, they can take a button and immediately stop writing. The number of holes in the button dictates how many bonus points that player gets, and once all buttons are taken, it's pencils down for everyone. This brings on the third and final stage, challenge. Players compare the answers they've written down. If a player duplicates any words they've used before, it's out. If a player uses the same answer as anyone else, it's out. If a player uses a word in the subject to describe it, it's out. But if it's all good, you can score a number of points matching the number of loops surrounding a spool. However, if what is said is something of a stretch, you can challenge it by saying Knit Wit, in which case a player has 10 seconds to defend their potentially flimsy reasoning. If a majority of players say your answer is good, you get the points. However, if a majority don't, you're left to mope in nothingness. In the end, you count up your points from answers in your bonus button, and the person with the most points wins. Knit Wit feels like a spiritual successor to Animal Bird Fish that I never knew I needed, and just about does enough to separate itself out from other word scribbling games on the market. Part of that is down to the wonderfully cute theming, which I feel like I've gone on about enough. Next, what I really like about Knit Wit is you don't have to be a living thesaurus to win it. When you have a 3-looped or even a 2-loop spool surrounded by a bizarre array of words, you have to tap into that idiotic part of your brain that exists. You know, the one that you won't admit is there, the one that thought that gammon was a fish for months on end and that Signs is actually kind of a good film. Looking for something heavy and smelly? Well, how about 5 million kilograms of blue cheese? It's not a subtle answer, but it works. If you were given more time, you can probably think of something more sensible. However, as everyone's trying to grab these buttons that could prematurely end the game, your imagination just runs wild. Heck, it might even be a better idea just to grab a button and give up, rather than work on answers that, well, probably won't work out for you in the end anyway. It's such a twee little game that builds up tension in the silliest of ways, but it does have its faults that I can't blame the game for, because they seem to arise whenever humans are included in proceedings, which is hardly a surprise. They ruin everything. Knit Wit makes a point of the fact that you should clarify beforehand just how creative you can be with some of your answers. As such, you might have been cringing at most of the answers I've been giving during this review. Heck, if we were playing together, you'd probably be happy arguing with me until 1 billion AD. And that would hurt the game a fair bit. If you're a player that really cares about their points, you might be doing more nitpicking than nitwitting. Players like that will likely find playful ways of manipulating the system in their honour. They'll find themselves arguing with every single answer anyone else comes up with, because it just doesn't quite fit the remit, I'm afraid. And it's clearly meant to be a cute, friendly, playful game. You've got to learn when to let things slide, even if it's just slightly off the mark. If they've used their imagination, good on them, whatever. But if you can't do that, you'll find yourself just finding problems with everything anyone says, and they'll all soon gain up on you with knitting needles in hands, wanting to jam them into your ears to push it into your brain. And that would be quite impressive, actually, because these don't come with the game itself. No matter who you invite, Knit Wit is a great party game. However, personally, I think it is the perfect family game.
Only if your family isn't a bunch of jerks.
Its playful appearance makes me think it relishes in its silliness, and quite frankly, the more you can bring to the table to play it, the better, simply because you'll have a grander catalogue of really daft answers to look through. If you're just looking for a game that will give you a bit of a laugh, a carefree giggle, get it, it's really good.
Get it out.
Get it out.